This is the closing market report for Thursday on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. On the phone right now with Bill Moore of Price Futures Group as we wrap up another day in the ag marketplace. Bill, what have we seen going on in the grain and livestock markets today?
Well, we did have the USDA report, the April WASDE at 11 o'clock, and it was pretty much a ho-hum report. The numbers, both U.S. and world stocks, right in line with what they're looking for. And they kept South American crops the same, Brazil 180. The war, once again, was front and center. We had the announcement yesterday of the 2-week ceasefire. Overnight, Israel somehow didn't get the message, and they bombed Lebanon. So Iran closed the Straits of Hormuz again, and so it makes the truce or the ceasefire kind of a fragile thing, kind of hanging by a thread. Still there, and I think the U.S. officials are going to meet with Iran this weekend. So hopefully they can make some progress with that and get on the same page with the three of them, Israel, Iran, and the U.S. So that caused a lot of gyration in the markets today. And mostly the important market to look at would be the energy market. Energy early on this morning was up about $9. Now it's only up about $1.50. So maybe they made some progress over there. That's what the market's telling us. It's a positive. And the grains kind of went the same way. When the crude is higher, the grains were on their highs. Beans at one time were up about 8. Wheat market was at one time was up about 8, and the corn market on its highs was up about 3.5. So when the crude oil broke back under $100, the grains broke with them. Trump has also said that he's going to keep military forces in the area, in the Middle East, where they are now, until they have a resolution of this war and the Strait of Hormuz is reopened. Other than that, the Dow Jones today is higher now. It's up about 300. It was lower, so it's reacted to the crude break. It was lower this morning. It's at 10 o'clock, and since 10 o'clock, the Dow Jones has rallied about 600 points. So maybe they're making some progress in the talks, hopefully. So it's all based on what the crude did. It was higher, then it's quite a bit higher, $8-9. Now it's only $1 higher, and all the other markets reacted accordingly. Also, we had exports today, the low end of the range for wheat and beans, but a solid number for corn, 1.135 million metric tons. So that was positive. We had a flash sale of corn today, 136,000 corn to metric tons of corn to South Korea. El Nino is a factor. They're talking about a super El Nino. If it really hits us hard this summer, that could impact the grain prices quite a bit in a negative way, or in a positive way. Finally, the soaring price of crude and the fertilizer is it wasn't fully captured in the acreage report on March 31st because those numbers were compiled before the Iran war really started to rage. So with the high cost of fuel, the scarcity of fertilizer and high cost of that, people might back off on how much they put on, or might back off on the acres. And so those acres could be smaller come June, the final numbers, and meaning smaller production. So that's something to keep in mind. The weather going forward is pretty benign for planting. It's warm and wet going into the next couple of weeks. Corn about 3% in right now. It's about all for the grains. Livestock-wise, looking at, I haven't checked them in a while, is reacting to the stock market pretty closely. June cattle now up $1.20, was lower earlier. The market has been up, is higher for the week, and hovering just under the contract highs. Just a bullish juggernaut. Cattle supplies are tight. Demand is good. Consumers showing his preference for burgers and steaks over pork chops, and the market looks like it's maybe consolidating, getting ready to move higher, even though it's overbought and nearly at all-time high levels. Once again, you take that cattle chart, amazingly turn it upside down, and you have the June hog chart. June hogs are hugging the lows for 2026. They're about $8 off the highs. Demand is just not there for the pork in the supermarket. Supply is a little heavy, and the pork remains the very weak sister of the cattle in the meat complex.
All right, Bill, lots of great information today. For anyone who would like to get in touch for more marketing information and check out your newsletter, how can they do that?
630-947-5176. WMoore@pricegroup.com. Check out my newsletter, Agmaster. or www.pricegroup.com, the company website. Look at the bios of Jack Scoville and myself. We've both been there a long time. We'd love to help you out.
That again was Bill Moore of Price Futures Group. We'll look at the numbers next.
In rural Iowa, you need reliable information. The Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network brings you ag-specific content like market trends, weather outlooks, and policy updates that matter to your operation, while your local station brings you community news and consistent updates on what is happening in your area. It's a partnership built for the challenges of rural life. Your farm, your local station, and your friends at the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, where Iowa Ag matters. Find us online at iowaagnet.com.
At the close, May corn down 3 1/4 at $4.44 even. December new crop down 1 3/4 at $4.74 1/4. May soybeans up 3 1/4 at $11.65 1/4. November new crop up 1/2 cent at $11.52 1/2. May soybean meal up $3.50 at $3.1760. May soybean oil up 28 cents at $67.70. Chicago wheat down 5 3/4 at $5.74 1/2. Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 4 3/4 at $5.90 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat down 5 3/4 at $6.18 1/4. May oats win unchanged at $3.32 1/2. On the Merc, April live cattle up 77 cents at $249.77. April feeders up $1.85 at $372.52. May lean hogs down 47 cents at $95.90. Pork cutout went unchanged at $108.77. And April Class 3 milk down 14 cents at $17.07. That's been a check of the closing market prices. Thanks again to Bill Moore of Price Futures Group for joining us today here on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, where Iowa Ag matters. I'm Riley Smith.